A very good afternoon to you, our viewers. You're welcome to another episode of Punch Sports Extra. It's great to be here again. It's time to talk sports and time to give you the latest updates happening in the world of sports. Shegona is my name. I have Abiodun Adewale, who is my co-anchor, co-driver, co-analyst. Man in coat. I think he's a coat. I mean, is this a coat or an extra attire or something?
All of the above.
All right, but we are dressed. And you're not putting down your clothes to celebrate like Victor Boniface.
All
right.
There is no trend here.
There's no trend here. All right, feels good to be here. And like we always do, we start with your darling newspaper, Punch Sports Extra, the paper copy, the ones you find on the stands, the news stands, news vendor stands. We'll be starting with the headline this morning. And what better way to begin with than talking about the summary of Nigerian footballers, Nigerian players across Europe in the recently concluded transfer. The biggest was Victor Osimhen and the controversy that came with his movements, leaving Napoli, and now not entirely leaving Napoli because he's on loan at Gala.
And has even signed a 1-year extension with Napoli.
So, no, I think that is for him to, for his, what's the word now? So that his transfer
market value
remains and his transfer fee remains sorted. But he was there at the weekend. I mean, it was all over the news that he had scored, and I was wondering where, because I didn't see it on our favorite online monitoring platforms.
But I actually saw the game live.
Okay.
So when that ball went in, I was not even sure. I was not sure too if he had a touch on that ball. It was a crossing into the area. He leapt, jumped higher than everybody, aimed, and it might have touched his head. Yes, it did. But he took another touch from another Galatasaray player before the ball went into the net. So eventually, it became an assist for Victor Osimhen.
Yeah.
And for the entire duration of the games, Galatasaray made 4 changes at a time, one at the other end to complete their 5 substitutions. Osimhen wasn't taken out.
Yeah.
Apparently, everybody inside that stadium that evening wanted him to get a goal of his own.
Exactly.
He tried. He was involved from first, and even before the goals. He was just, let's just say, deprived by just some little things. The first goal that was scored by Davinson Sanchez, he was in pole position to held that ball into the net ball. Davinson was ahead of him, got the ball before him. And the foul that led to the free kick of the first goal, Osimhen was a player that was fouled, he was the one that won that free kick, which led to the first goal. So he was involved in every bit. I saw so many area balls which he thrown himself into, so many headers, so many other attempts to ball. The ball wouldn't just go into the back of the net. And at the end of 90 minutes, he had a very good time with the fans, took his time to do their celebration.
Even went up.
Yeah, take selfies with them at the mix zone and all of that. So they
say don't fall in love with the player on loan. What's going on?
Osimhen's case is circumstantial. Truly, when he said he was going to play with his heart and all of that, I read his statement and I felt like, well, Victor doesn't have a choice. He has a point to prove that he could really fit into that Napoli squad, if not for every circumstantial thing that led to his absence. So it's just Osimhen transferring the energy from Napoli just straight to Galatasaray in Turkey. So whatever affection and all of that, I think he has switched it now, knowing fully well that he has to do every bit of what he has to do to ensure that the market value rises.
He gets a big move
in
January or in summer.
He has to play his heart out, and he has to continue to prove that point that he is on that level that we are saying he is.
All right, beautiful. On social media this weekend, I saw some Nigerian journalists saying there's too much hype around Osimhen. He's not as big as we make him look like. And some others were countering with a little bit of attacks on each other's personality here, and they're like, hey guys, it's just football, let's relax. All right.
Banga boys.
We only say the banga, one of those things. Still talking about Nigerian boys on the move this summer. Kelechi Iheanacho, senior man, did not play a single game for the Super Eagles. I think he came on in the last encounter against Rwanda in Kigali. But even for Sevilla, he has not really used. Even for the Super Eagles, he's playing more of a partly role. He was one of the guys on the move, and I think we expected big things from senior man moving from Leicester
to Sevilla. Yeah. At this point, I think he's literally entering into that senior man level, senior man era, quote and unquote. You know, there's been an era, there's been a level of being a senior man that he has shown, scoring goals, playing some kind of level of football that, yes, this is what you expect from Kelechi Iheanacho. He has really evolved over time. But I think his involvement now is going into that senior man era properly. And it's a kind of era that if he doesn't get adequate playing time at Sevilla in the first place, it will be hard for him to break into the national team because look at the setup.
Too many big boys.
Times have changed. And at this point, a player as good as Victor Boniface, we still don't even know where to play him. Maybe as a second striker,
as a 9,
maybe
as
an 8, maybe on the flanks and whatever. So if he doesn't get into his groove, he might just be settling for a place on the bench. And remember, it was the same situation at the Africa Cup of Nations. He didn't come on until the semi-finals against South Africa and the penalty shootout. We didn't see much of him. So that era is coming. So he has to get in. So moving to Sevilla should be the big deal. And he should make a big deal out of that move. He was a free agent. He moved for free. So he should make a big deal out of that move. Nonetheless, even for the fact that he moved for free. So he should be he moved to a big club, literally.
Yeah.
They don't.
It's change of status.
Their days are passed behind them. But then one of the reasons why they brought him was because they know he could be one of the guys that could get them back. But I saw his compatriots, Chidera Ejuke.
Exactly. I was about talking about Chidera Ejuke.
Getting into the lineup, you know, week in, week out as well. And
skillful Chidera Ejuke. Unfortunately, has not been a part of the Super Eagles in recent time. But we saw him some years ago at the AFCON. Brilliant guy.
Yeah, sure.
And
one of the best dribblers in Europe, if you ask me.
Yes.
So it's just big moves for the two of them. They just have to make it more career defining for them so that they will be able to make a statement at home too. All
right, beautiful. And one man, he didn't move. We thought he was going to move. I'm talking about, you know, they say he's the incoming African player of the year. Ademola Lookman. His situation was looking like that of Victor Osimhen at some point because he was left out of the team. And they said it was because he was close to a deal somewhere else. And because we could say Jack Robinson, we just didn't hear much about him moving.
I think you would have to respect him or just give him some thumbs up a bit because of how he handled the entire transfer issue. Truly, he asked to be left out of their squad in all the Serie A matches. The only game he played was the Super Cup. They played 3 Serie A matches. He was left out. Then he was named on the bench in their last game before the international break before coming to Nigeria. The deal didn't happen. Nobody has explained why. What happened? Well, apparently, he wanted to move. But he has proved, just yesterday, he proved that whether here or there or even in Nigeria,
I'm on fire.
He will continue to bang in the goals. And he's beginning to, when arguments are coming up about a certain Moroccan, whom many did not even know plays for Real Madrid, when the argument started coming up, Lookman had to show up himself and say, "This is me."
This is and yesterday, he had the player of the match
award. First league game of the season, 1 goal, 1 assist, and the man of the match award.
Talking about assists, one man that was on the moved from Brentford to Augsburg, was
Frank the Tank.
Frank the Tank, Frank Onyeka was on the assist list yesterday. They won 3 goals to 2, showing up for Augsburg.
Yeah, he proved why he needed the playing time. He wasn't getting it at Brentford. He had to move. Even Thomas Frank, his namesake and coach of Brentford, had to say that, okay, Onyeka needed game time. We couldn't afford him here. He had to move on. Straight into the starting lineup.
Of Augsburg.
Straight into one of the goal contributors sheets. And I saw the video of the assist. It was not a fluke of assist.
A sweet assist.
It was an intentional assist. He knew where he had to direct the ball to, and he knew how to pick out the man who buried the ball eventually.
All right, Victor Moses, ex-Super Eagles player. People said they had forgotten he was playing football.
Honestly,
I mean, he joined the club that was in the Premier League last season. Now they are in the Championship. What exactly can Victor Moses do to assist them?
I still don't know why. Because the first game they played since they signed him, I saw him on the bench. I probably thought if he's not starting, maybe they should bring him. Okay, a new signing, they don't want to rush him. But from what I saw Luton Town play, I think against Millwall on Saturday, I really don't see. Then it's been long. I personally watched Victor Moses. You know, we've seen him as a wing back.
seen him as an attacking
we've seen him as an
left.
attacking left winger or even a right winger. So I don't even know which position he plays best these days. So it's really hard to say which area he will be able to help Luton. But then I think they need some mentality. And he might just be able to bring in that. Even off the pitch, in the dressing room and even on the training ground, you will be able to bring that level, that kind of mentality that they need. And there's still some Nigerian boys in that team too. I still saw Elijah Adebayo for them up front. So maybe he might just be one of their propelling factors.
Elijah Adebayo is British.
Back to the Premier League. If you look at their compatriots, Ademola Lookman, I'm very sure a lot of them will be, before they say I'm British, I want to play for England, they will probably think Nigeria first before thinking of playing for England.
All right, away from the front pages, let's dig deep and go into what happened yesterday. Talking about Nigerian boys that were British and the Nigerians, of course. Yesterday I saw a Nigerian boy on the left and sometimes majorly really on the right for Arsenal, Bukayo Saka, English. And I saw the battle between Bukayo Saka and Destiny Udogie. And Destiny Udogie is Italian. Wow, big one, big one. Two Nigerian boys, British and Italian, as the case may be. Eventually, it was the British man that had the side take the day. 1-0 in favor of Arsenal and Mikel Arteta yesterday. North London derby. Indeed, what a derby.
Yeah, North London is red this time, even though they didn't allow Arsenal put on their red jersey yesterday. But they still showed class. I think so it's safe to call Arsenal some mentality monsters.
I think so.
With their recent performance. We've seen it 2 seasons back to back. Even with all their injury worries and suspension yesterday, they still... A normal team would have collapsed under Spurs pressure in the first 20 minutes of that game. But Arsenal showed why they are the new Arsenal.
They're doing David Raya. What do you have to say about him?
Fantastic guy. For every Ramsdale question that comes up, he has an answer.
Every time. Every
time someone asks a question, so you wonder why they brought him on loan, eventually making the deal permanent. He gave every bit of that answer yesterday, and it might just be the reason they might be able to still. The only reason he should be one of the reasons they are winning things, but the only reason they are not winning is because of a certain cyborg.
There's a Pep Guardiola and Erling Haaland somewhere.
Erling Haaland and Pep Guardiola. That's just the reason Arsenal are not winning anything else. I think they have everything that they need.
Talking about Gabriel and Saliba, the dangerous twins at the back.
But we say Saliba has not really been up to par, especially even with France on international duty. But he's a different
beast when playing for Arsenal.
And we saw that come live in the North London derby as well. Regardless of what you want to say, I think they have one of the best defense line. Even for us that do the simulated Premier League fantasy, one of the best places you want to go to for a defender is Arsenal. They will assure you of that clean sheet or even score like Gabriel did yesterday. So it's as good as it gets for those guys, and they just have to keep up that level. They just have to stay on that level.
Another British Nigerian, most expensive player bought by Spurs, Dominic Solanke, not exactly covering himself in glory.
Coming back from a small injury setback, he might not really be thick into the action. Not just Solanke, there are some other strikers like that in the Premier League. Oli Watkins has not ticked in the last 3 games until on Saturday.
This weekend, when he got 2 goals.
So for Solanke,
could have gotten a hat-trick.
But Solanke was on fire at AFC Bournemouth last season, made that move to Tottenham Hotspur, and he's looking like, since Harry Kane left, it looked like they finally got a replacement for him.
Number 9.
Let's just give him the time and see how well he'll be able to come up and fit into that big shoes. Because these days now, they know he has to be their focal, focal point up front.
All right. Away from that encounter, of course, in a smaller EPL game yesterday, Newcastle came back to win from a goal down to defeating Wolves. Isak went off injured after 45 minutes. Oops. Sorry to FPL managers that had him on their team, because at one point at the end of the day, too bad. But monster mentality from Eddie Houseman away from home, getting a victory.
Aside from the Newcastle perspective, for Eddie Howe, you know, this guy has been making big statements. And I somehow have a feeling that for what he's done with Newcastle over time, I think the English FA are just buying time for him to come take over the England national team job. It looks like,
you think so?
It looks like one of their prime candidates for that job. If they don't give Castley the job permanently, they are probably waiting for Eddie Howe to come take the job. But things are not so looking feasible with the way Newcastle are at the moment, because he's been talking a lot about his future, the future of some of his players, their project. They were in the Champions League last season, but this season they are no longer there. So he might just want to live on a high as much as he could. But for him, he's done a tremendous work. And one of the things you will be seeing, even though they are not on the same pedestal as they were last season, was what we saw against Wolverhampton Wanderers yesterday. All
right, let's take it a little bit back outside of Sunday to Saturday. Abiodun made mention of the duo earlier, Erling Haaland and his manager, Pep Guardiola. They, you know, not something we're expecting. Brentford getting a goal in the first minute. 1 minute. You're in Wissa. And then, you know, you just knew if they were ever going to come back, that man was going to score. And he scored twice. And they said he was not supposed to play because he was mourning his like uncle. It was. He was looking for that hat trick. It was, you know, Alan's pain before the match was deep. You know, someone that has accompanied him to some of his biggest events as a footballer, has helped him with some of the best things he has ever done in football. But when they were saying it was a doubt for that game, personally, the best thing I could just do was just, okay, let me take the captain band off him from my team and give it to someone else. Oh, you took the band off him? Let me just leave him to play. Because I know, even if it was for just 30 minutes, I knew he was going to probably come back on the pitch to come play. And playing and scoring is a big statement, will be some kind of on-the-field tribute for his uncle as well. He was looking for that trick, but he couldn't just. He was looking for that trick. But still, another Premier League record. 9 goals in the first 4 games of the season, eclipsing the 8th goal which Wayne Rooney, I think, had many seasons ago. And talk about records in England too. Harry Kane got 100 caps during the last international break. The last English player to do that was 10 years ago, and that was Wayne Rooney in 2014. A whole decade. A whole decade. For another record to be broken. All right, still talking about England. Finally, on the red side of Manchester, people could smile. I mean, it's been a long time coming. Finally, Marcus Rashford as well got on the score sheet after what looked like a very long time. Eventually, a deserved victory for Manchester United against Southampton. One of the unwanted records that they've set over time it has become so embarrassing that, do you know Manchester United player has scored 2 goals in a match at Old Trafford for as long as I can't even remember. Wow. And players like Mohamed Salah come once in a season. And take their brace and go. And take their brace and they leave. But a good one for Marcus Rashford with someone as legendary as Alan Shearer coming into his defense yesterday, that his criticism over time has been very unfair. But I don't think so. I don't think so. This can't be any 350 bucks. This guy is one of the highest paid players 350 bucks, in the league. Bro. And you can't be any 350 for doing nothing. No. You just have to. You have to come to the party. Like you will say, Ibad as Ibad, give us 10 goals a season. Maybe use some 5 assists to support it, or even double figures of assists as well. You know, you are not a defender. You play up front. So you should be leading the pack. How unfortunate can you be not to get 10 goals? And they say you have the DNA of the club inside you. So what else do you need? We can't see no DNA. So, but let's also, United fans and Marcus Rashford particularly, now remember how to smile. And let's just hope the results will keep coming. The last time out was terrible. And it's just football. But beyond football, there has been a lot has been said about United's problem recently. Ronaldo and Erik ten Hag are taking jibes at each other. Even this weekend, Ten Hag couldn't afford to miss a beautiful hit as Cristiano Ronaldo. So a lot has been said. Even Ralph Rangnick, who managed them on interim basis, has come out to say, yes, he was right about the problems he spotted some 2 years ago when he was in charge. So, beyond the field, I think Ratcliffe and every other person on that board need to take drastic decisions. It's good that they give
Eric Ten Hag the backing that he needs and all of that. If you need to sanction some of these players, it is not just about saying this one won't come back because he has rape allegations, this one won't play because he had issues with the managers. If they are not performing, just shelve them, get the guys. And the funny thing is they keep spending, but it doesn't just show.
You don't see too much.
It doesn't just show in terms of performance. So a lot of problems need to be fixed, and I'm sure by the time they do it, before you know it, they will be getting back. It's been long. It's been over 10 years since they won the Premier League, and if they continue this way, they might just be the next Liverpool.
Talking about Liverpool, a shocking loss at the weekend to Taiwo Awoniyi and Ola Aina's Nottingham Forest. Biodun, I know you support Liverpool. How did you enjoy that game?
Well, it was quite tormenting to watch. From the first half, 20 minutes into the game, Liverpool had not scored. I knew something was not going right. And the best chance that we could have used to just crack them, they were so under pressure. But the best we could do was just hit the post through courtesy of Diaz. And a few minutes later, Ola Aina, like a certain Nigerian said of food, said Ola Aina took food away from the mouth of his fellow Nigerians without goal line clearance that he did. And I can imagine.
Are you talking about investors?
Investors. And I can imagine that if that ball had gone in through, Forest would have cracked under the pressure and Liverpool would have banged in and all of that. So imagine that even after the game, during voting for Player of the Match award on the Premier League website, even Liverpool players still had the highest votes. The performance wasn't bad. It was just hard luck and just maybe some precision that was lacking. That was also. But I read something yesterday from this man, Nuno Espirito Santo, who was in charge of Nottingham Forest. How did they crack Liverpool? Guess who they paid attention to? Virgil van Dijk. They didn't even bother about Salah because there were two guys on Salah. There was Moreno, there was Moreno and Murillo on Mohamed Salah at the same time. If he beats one, another one was waiting for him. And Ola Aina didn't have too many problems dealing with Luis Diaz on the other side of the field. But guess who else they paid attention to? Virgil van Dijk. And there was no any form of threat for him coming forward as well. And they just nailed it. It's been 56 years since they did it. And Callum Hudson-Odoi maybe sent from Chelsea for this particular mission, but whatever it is, I think he has ended it and he has given them that.
Arne Slot was winning all his games. On the bounce with clean sheets. He was making the headlines, but now he has tasted what it means to be in England.
I hope this won't be the start of setbacks. A lot of people have predicted the challenges that Liverpool might face at the start of the season. In the first 4 games, even until the 1-0 defeat at Nottingham Forest, it didn't look like Liverpool don't look like a team that have problems in terms of cohesion. And no, because it looks like Klopp left a very great team,
a perfect team on
for ground. This guy, and he seems to have slotted into that squad as manager. But I hope this defeat will not be the start of December, because they go to San Siro to play AC Milan in the Champions League. They come back to Anfield again by weekend to come play AFC Bournemouth in the English Premier League. These games are tricky, and one loss could just derail you mentally, and before you know it, you are losing 2, you are losing 3 games, or even dropping points. Even if you are not losing all the points, you are dropping points in games, and it says a lot about your ambition. Then you'll be praying for another international break so that the momentum
goes down a little.
The momentum goes down. Maybe you have to restart all over again.
All right, that is it from England. Losses, victories, and draws, as the case may be. Over to Spain, Barcelona and their young teenage sensation, Lamine Yamal, are so much in red-hot form. Yamal scored a brace yesterday, could have easily made it a hat-trick. 4-1 it ended in their favor. They are flying right now, flying Barcelona.
A senior colleague was telling me about some of the things they did while we were working yesterday, but I felt like as bad as it looks for Barcelona in terms of their wage cap or whatever problems that they have, that they can't pay big money for players, they have their big boys that they've groomed from the academy. And those boys are stepping onto the plate as if it's nothing. Maybe something has changed. Yes, and truly something has changed. Xavi Hernandez, whom we thought had everything expressed doubts about challenging Real Madrid for the La Liga title, and that's one of the things that I think led to his exit, led to him just being phased out from that team. It was something he knew. He didn't have to complain. But once Flick took the job as if he was taking, he knew the kind of job he was taking.
He knew the challenges ahead of him.
And he took it head on. The players he could get, he got them. The ones that he could not get, he let go. And look at how they are flying with the caliber of players that they have already. They've not spent, I'm not sure they've spent up to 50 million during the summer. But look at what they have been able to do. And it looks like, no, not as it looks like. At the moment, Real Madrid are behind them in the race.
Of course.
And like we said on this show.
And they look a better side. If we are being honest.
They look very convincing.
They look better than Real Madrid.
At the moment. So by the time he gets to 4 points, 6 points, 7 points, he might just be gone.
All right, talking about the other big side there in Spain. Real Madrid won 2-0, courtesy of 2 penalties off the boots of Vinicius Jr. and Kylian Mbappe. Outside of those penalty goals, Real Madrid were not threatening. The commentator virtually said, with Kylian Mbappe on the team, Real Madrid look less threatening. That was not the idea when they bought him.
If I was Kylian Mbappe, I would even stop taking penalties for Real Madrid at the moment. I want to score real goals.
But he needs those goals. He needs those goals.
But I want to
take
score
pressure off him.
But I want to score. It will take the pressure off him. But he's a marquee signing.
Yeah, a marquee signing.
Not sold out.
Penalty start.
He's not sold out though.
That is the
penalties or anything. I saw the spark he brought in that game. Personally, individually, I saw the spark that he brought. At least before Sociedad began to eat the post.
But it's not positively affecting that team.
Yeah. And it's all down to, I think it's all down to the effectiveness of that setup up front. For the first time, I even saw Adegule being thrown into the fray, from the middle to the front.
He was supposed to be from the middle. Then later he went to the right. Then later he was back. You know, it was.
Then Brahim Diaz got injured again.
Yeah, Brahim
Rodrigo had to come in. So regardless of how studied or the level of depth that Real Madrid have, they still look like a shadow of themselves at the moment. And I think it's down to Carlo Ancelotti. He needs to take a very big decision. Who sits down? Who plays?
I think Rodrigo has been the one to sit down.
Yeah, but it has not really been effective still. So,
and you say you want Kylian Mbappe to be on the bench?
Then, if Rodrigo is one of your most effective players and you are sitting him down, you are still robbing the team of some certain qualities that you should be seeing. I saw Hendrick on the bench too. This boy has been explosive for the few minutes that he spent on the pitch as well. I agree. So if it takes you to sit Mbappe down for one La Liga game and just see the way...
And you play all Brazilian up front.
Play all your Brazilians up front and let's see the way things will be.
Let Kylian come in. But you know, Marquis sign like you said,
then if
there may be unrest in the dressing room.
In the dressing room. But if Kylian has to come in, not as a centre forward, and even on the flanks, just take that big decision that you need to take. And if it works for your team, stick with it. But a big manager like Ancelotti, one of the things that he has to do is to manage the stars crisis that might erupt from the dressing room. And I think I like the way they're handling it at the moment. It looks really
it's a brotherly affair. All right, away from Spain, let's take you straight to Germany. Oh my goodness. Victor Boniface getting 2 goals. Beautiful brace in his team's victory. Bayern Leverkusen, Bayern always cruising.
Hurricane and all of them. You know, I just hope they get the title this season.
Are you talking about Bayern Munich?
Bayern Munich.
Or Bayern Leverkusen?
Bayern Munich. I hope they win the title this season.
Why? You don't want Leverkusen to cruise?
Well, they might be able to cruise, but what we saw, 4-1 over Leipzig, over, but 2 weeks ago, a week ago, Leipzig was beating them at home, 3-2 and all of that. So they look a little bit shaky to me, and it looks like it might be going to the other side. And if not for anything, let's just give it to Hurricane this time around. He's been scoring all the goals, he has broken Haaland's records in the Bundesliga as well. So let's just hope it's their season this time around.
All right, you know, Bayern winning, Leverkusen winning, victory galore. AC Milan cruising to victory. Dumfries having to bring Inter Milan back from losing, trailing a goal to nil, and then, you know, getting a 1-0 all draw. Very quickly, reports coming in, Avi, that the NFF have eventually gotten another deal with another manager this time around. Biodun, you have his name?
Another German. Schafer. I just hope there will not be stringent tax laws in whatever agreements they are making.
I thought Nigerians were saying, let's stick with Austin Eguavoen. I mean,
well, Nigerians are saying, not the NFF has not said this is what. And remember, even the man himself has said, they gave me 2 games mandate. It ended in this game. He came back again and he said, no, I did not say that, you. I'm still in charge.
Okay. All right. Outside of that, Premier League, Nigerian Professional Football League yesterday. Nigerian Professional Football League NPFL yesterday. 4 draws, 1 win. What was shocking for me was the fact that Shooting Stars of Ibadan did not win their game against Plateau United. And that was the first goal Shooting Stars are considered in over 900 minutes.
Yeah, in 11 games.
Yeah.
In Ibadan, as a matter of fact. Not a good start for them at home. But they were denied maybe some referees' decisions and all of that. I think they will go back and see, because they would take solace in the fact that they've got an away draw this season. Yeah. It means that maybe they could be able to.
I think our league is getting better.
More
4 draws.
But then we just have to pay attention to our officiating the more. It is not just about giving them communication gadgets. Let us give them something that will enhance their performance
but
more.
Perhaps
because in games that were on TV during the weekend, from Rivers United against Atlanta to 3SC versus Plateau United to even Aqua United against Abia Warriors in Uyo, those games were live on TV, and the referees took decisions that they probably would have reviewed on VAR, but there was nothing like that. So it is not enough to just say referees.
So you are saying we need VAR.
We need VAR. It is not enough.
It's expensive. Can we? I think we can afford it.
From what the NRA president has told us, it's not something we can afford, maybe at the moment, but then we can afford it. If it's a matter of planning. If they've been talking about this since last season, there is no point why we are not having it now. So, like, one point that I wanted to make is that they were celebrating communication gadgets in the league this season as if it's something really big. Massive. Like that. Referees, personally, they've been using these communication gadgets for even non-league matches. So if we are giving them communication gadgets, it will only enhance their communication. The big thing is, if it is one VAR we have in Nigeria, we will know that we will schedule our games, at least the biggest game of the week. Big games
for those weekends.
Especially
games on TV.
Especially games on TV.
All right, nice one. All right, there you have it. That's our package for today. It's a public holiday. 80% or probably 90% of our viewers today are probably watching from the comfort of their homes, but we have to be here to give you the package. Thank you very much for being a part of this production. Like I always say, we are here because you are there. Very big thank you to Abiodun Adewale for being in the studio as well and for ensuring that we do this together. Very big thank you to the guys in the production department, pressing the right buttons and shifting the right cameras. My name is Shegun Odwanyo and I'm with the entire team saying have a great week.